Hemses ubeis hakaisis shenikfu lachutz. The two sections of the stomach, the Bais where they translate the reticulum, and the hemsis is omasam. Omasam. It sounds actually similar to the word hemsis. Mas. Omasam. So the Bais HaKaisis, the reason why it's called Bais HaKaisis is because the skin of the Bais HaKaisis would be sort of material that I can use it.
Like
It would be like little boxes like settings. Oh, here. This is the hemsis. This is the Bais HaKaisis right here. Yeah.
It's inflated.
How would you call that? See this? That's the Bais HaKaisis. Because the skin is full of kaisis. The little cups.
Almost looks like a honeycomb.
Honeycomb type of thing. Good. Okay, so that's why it's called the Bais HaKaisis. So now, if there's a puncture to the outside, that's a problem. If they would be punctured one to another, then it wouldn't be a problem because then the food goes from one to the another. Nafla min agag. An animal fell off the roof. We're not able to check or if what's broken, what's not. So that's a concern that maybe things inside got messed up.
That's after the.
No, before. Right before you shechted it, it fell off a roof. If most of its ribs were broken. Drusa sazev, if it got attacked by a wolf. Now here, the nails of the wolf could carry diseases, infectious diseases that get put into the animal. That's considered a treifa. Rabbi Yehuda says that that's only by a small animal, but by a large animal, the wolf won't get it. It's the lion that's the big deal. The lion would make it a treifa. Drusas haneitz ba'oif. A nates is some sort of hawk. If that attacks a bird, so that also will make it considered a treifa.
Rabbi?
Rashi says it's an osprey. Aspruv. Yeah.
No, just said with the broken ribs.
Yeah.
Because it would puncture the lungs. We didn't say that.
No, I don't know because
that's the big danger.
That's right. Right.
Let me see. Away if it's got punctured lung, it's.
So why don't you just check the lungs? What do we care?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But then what's wrong with
Well, most of the ribs could affect the way that the animal could maneuver. If it would be most of the ribs, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So then he's sick. The animal's sick.
It won't be able to survive. You think it's fine? Okay, let's wait for the Gemara.
Because it hurts. If it's a small bird, then it would be this osprey or some sort of hawk. Drusas hagas, ba'if hagas. It would need to be a large bird. It doesn't tell me what the large bird is. Ostvir. I don't have a translation here. Did they say a large bird? Yeah, he says a large bird. That's as good as the Rashi's French. Okay. Zeh haklal. This is the rule. Kol shein kamayachaya treifa. You hear that? Here's the rule. Anything that something similar to this would not be able to live, then this one's not living because you just shechted it. But another animal that had this problem would not be able to live, so that's considered a treifa. Amar Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Ready for the Gemara? I'm sorry? A falcon. A large falcon.
Oh, so a falcon would be attacking a oifagas.
Why are we calling these treifas and not nevelas?
Because a nevela is something that dies without shechita. This was shechted. The only thing is, when you open it up, you say, oh my gosh, it would have died within 12 months.
Oh, because it was shechted.
But it was shechted, so nevela would give off an impurity. This doesn't give off impurity. It's just, it had an illness, but it can't eat it. Okay. Reb Shimon ben Lakish says, Remez l'treifa min atayra minayin. Give me a allusion to where it says that there's an issue with the treifa in the Torah. See Reb Shimon ben Lakish. The Gemara asks, Minayin? You're asking for an allusion to this, a remez? It says in the Torah, Basa Basa the Treifa, Leisechelo. It says clearly. Meat it's associated with the Parsha, because the treifa meat, the pasuk concludes, right? La kelev tashlichon, you have to throw it to the dogs. So the meat in the field, that's a treifa, you can't eat it. Now, the Gemara learns other things from the word basada, what else it's teaching me, why in the field. But it says a treifa you can't eat. How do we know that a treifa means something that can't live? Diktani seifa, because the end of the Mishnah says, Zeh haklal, this is the rule, kol shein kamayachaya treifa. Anything something that similar to this would not be able to live is a treifa. Michlal, this implies the treifa einachaya, that a treifa can't live for 12 months. Minolan, so where do we know that from? In the Torah. The Gemara answers, Tiksiv, how do we know that a treifa doesn't live? It says, V'zoi sachaya asher techelu. This is the animal, or the living animal. Chaya could also mean a wild animal, but here it's being translated as this is what's living that you can eat. That means chaya achal, something that's living you could eat. She'ena chaya lo seichel. If it's not living, you can't eat it. This would be a source that a treifa doesn't live, and our issue with the treifa is that it's not going to live. Michlal, this implies the treifa lechaya, that a treifa doesn't live. Now the Gemara asks, there's a machlokes. Some opinions hold that a treifa can't live. And that's what we were taught. It's going to die within 12 months. That's not so simple. There's another opinion that holds a treifa can live. And nevertheless, you can't eat it.
Like, what if it falls off the roof and then you let it sit for 12 months?
Right.
Now,
So that would be a way, that would be a difference.
we presume some of these events are going to make
Right.
a treifa, but if you let it live and it's not,
If it fell off the roof and we wait 24 hours and it survives the 24 hours, then it's valid. So, but
So it's
some of the other
it's
things,
kosher again.
right? So, but some of the other things, yes, if you wait and see if it lives 12 months, you're able to determine that it obviously didn't have the issue that we were concerned about because it lived. But according to the other opinion, a treifa can live, so that's no proof. It's still treifa. So, the lamandamar treifa chaya minole. How does the one that holds a treifa can live? What's the source for that? So he says nafkale. He learns that from the same pasuk. He said zois hachaya. This is the living thing that you can eat. He learns zois hachaya asher techelu. This is the living thing that you can eat. Zois hachaya achol. This living thing you can eat. Chaya acheres leiseichel, but another living thing you can't eat. See, it depends on the emphasis. Do I emphasize the this, or do I emphasize the living? If I emphasize living, this is the living thing that you can eat. That means that a treifa that's not living, not going to survive, you're not allowed to eat. But if you emphasize the this, then I'm excluding something else that's living. This is the living thing that you can eat. Other living things you can't eat. It means the treifa can live. Mechlal the treifa chaya. So the Gemara says, v'idach. So let's go back to the first opinion. Hai zois mayavidle. What does he do with the this? Where's the emphasis on the this? Why does he have to say this? So he says, Mi boile leketana de Rabbi Yishmael. He needs it for what was taught in the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Yishmael would be on the side of Rabbi Akiva. So on the back in the Tanoim chart.
I got two things to have to.
The Tana de Rabbi Yishmael was taught in the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael. Zois hachaya asher techelu. This is the living thing that you can eat. Malamid shetafas hakadosh baruch hu mikol min umin. It's coming to tell us that Hashem took from every species, behera loy Moshe, and He showed it to Moshe. V'amar lo zois achol v'zois lo seichel. This you can eat, and this you can't eat. So Moshe had a display. It was a
Slideshow.
right. Hashem showed him each animal. This one yes, this one no.
Wow.
The Gemara says, "V'idach nami mi ba'alei leketana Rabbi Shmuel." But the one that already uses the this to tell me that a treifa can live, Zaisachaya. This is the one. Well, how does he know about that? How Moshe knew all of these things? Which animals yes, which no? Enachanami. Gemara says yes, you're correct. El treifa chayim minoli. So how does he know that an animal that's a treifa can live? Nafkalei mi'idach tana debei Rabbi Shmuel. He learns it from a different teaching from the Baises that were arranged in Rabbi Shmuel's yeshiva. The Tana Bei Rabbi Shmuel, it says in the house of Rabbi Shmuel, Bein achaya necheles, bein achaya shelei seichel. The pasuk says, lahavdil bein atamei bein atar, to distinguish between the impure and the pure, the animal that you can eat and the animal that you can't eat. That means that it calls the animal that you can't eat the chaya asher leiseichel, the living animal that you can't eat. That means that a treifa is still a living animal and you can't eat it. So that phrase, hachaya asher leiseichel, tells me that a treifa can live. Okay. And Tana de Rabbi Shmuel says that Elu shmeinasei treifa shenem al Moshe Messina. These are the 18 treifas that were taught to Moshe. Now Tosfos points out that we learned in Menachem that there were 3 things that was difficult for Moshe, and Hashem had to show him: the menorah, Rosh Chodesh, the new moon, and Shratzim, and the 8 creeping things that are tummy, and this is not one of them. So Tosfos explains that Hashem showing this to Moshe doesn't mean that it was difficult for Moshe. It just means that he didn't have a visual. Difficult for Moshe was because Moshe couldn't understand, how could this atone? He had a difficulty in understanding, not that he didn't have the
Right.
Yeah, but then the answer, it doesn't fit. What does it help that Hashem showed him the shekel? I mean,
somehow Matbeya Shalesh. Somehow that showed him that there's
a secular room.
that's an answer.
Very good one to say.
Okay. The Gemara asks, V'suleka, is that as far as we go? We only have 18. If you count the Mishnah, there's 18. V'ika. But there's more. There's Basker and V'shav Shmaitzer. Basker is an acronym for 4 different treifas. V'shav, Shev, it should be Shev, Shmaitzer. And there are 7 teachings of Amiram. Shmaitzer means a teaching of Amiram. So we have 4 other Tanaim. And then, so the Gemara says, Bishleim Latana Didana works out well according to our Mishnah. The Tana, what it taught through the Shayir, Asi B'Zaklal. And what it left out, we're going to learn from, it says, here's the rule. You want the rule? Anything that doesn't live is a treifa. So we didn't have to say the other 4 plus the other 7. El Tana de Rabbi Shmuel, Damar Yud Ches treifas. Tana de Rabbi Shmuel gave a number. V'suleka, there's no more. V'ika, there's more. Okay, stop here, but we're just going to go through the other 4 and then the 7. I'm just going to explain why Rabbi Shmuel didn't count them. Okay.
Yeah.